Woo! Lord Jesus Christ, allow this message to reach an individual. Allow me to look handsome on camera. Allow me to do what it does. Allow me to do what it do as I does what it does, Lord. Now, I've honestly probably been on semen retention for more than a few months, but I know I've done more than 3 months, but honestly, after a while, you just stop counting. Or the best way to do it so it doesn't feel like there is a timer on it, like No Nut November or something, is to just make it a part of your lifestyle. It isn't like a challenge or anything. It's just something that you don't do anymore. It's just like if you're trying to rid yourself of the websites, or if you're just trying to take a break from beating too many doonies down or something like that, or trying to rid yourself of those soul ties, I think the best thing to do is to not count the days and just try to integrate a lifestyle to where it's just like, it ain't you no more. That's not something that you partake in. Now, the biggest benefit that I've seen is that my voice has gotten fuller. I want to say more confident, but in all honesty, I don't really feel too different between myself of today and myself of like 5-6 months ago, even though the amount of nuts I was busting then was still very little. It was still a decent bit, or just more than I'd like, because I didn't like to do it at all. But if it isn't confidence, it's just a fuller voice and being more comfortable in my speech and a bit more masculine. I'll say it's weird. It's weird. It feels weird announcing that you feel more masculine when you got a full sack versus if you just empty in the pouch daily. But I feel more confident, and I feel like the only thing, I don't think that there's a lot of average men on this earth that could beat me in a fight. And not saying that like I'm just some over alpha dude or have this unnecessary confidence, but I have trained MMA for about a year, a little over a year now. I've stayed consistent in my training. I have great stamina, things like that. And I plan on having a fight soon, mid 2023 or a little bit beyond that. But even though I had experience in combat prior to semen retention, I never felt comfortable in conflict. I never felt comfortable in opposition. And there was always a sort of anxiety about me. Not even just physical altercation, but simply just an argument. Simply just people yelling gave me anxiety. Call it childhood trauma or things like that. And to a degree, now it doesn't give me anxiety. It just greatly annoys me when I hear people arguing. Because I'm like, bro, why ain't you just talking? Why aren't you just talking? But this may be a little bit of a tangent. But before learning how to fight, I felt very much like how I felt as a child hearing your parents argue or something like that. And there was nothing you could or can do. And if something popped off, you a victim and you can't do nothing. And after learning, using my masculine essence instead of just wasting it, busting nuts, and actually using it towards something productive like getting stronger, learning how to fight, I felt less and less like a victim. I felt like I could take control and responsibility of a situation and not only protect myself, but those around me. And it feels good, even though, honestly, outside of professional fighting and just like play fighting with friends and family, I'm more so of a pacifist, and I very much don't like unnecessary conflict, and I try to de-escalate whenever I can. But just having the feeling that if this person did anything, or if this argument were to turn anything, I'm most likely safe and okay. And on top of knowing that I'm good and taken care of in any altercation, as long as, and also just being aware and staying out of dumb stuff, obviously that, but knowing that you're good and you can handle yourself, but also being able to de-escalate a problem, being able to not even be in these situations, it very much limits anxiety. It makes you feel a lot better. Number two, I guess, is that my eye contact has gotten very much better when it just comes to talking to people. I know I'm talking to a camera and my eyes might be darting here and there, left and right and everything on the camera, but that's simply because I'm inexperienced and I don't know how. Yet, I'm not that good at talking to the camera. Now, if you like what you're hearing and you liking how I'm speaking and you liking my voice and things like that and think I can provide you with some value, I'm also a musician. So hit the subscribe button, I guess, or don't. Do what you want. But my eye contact has gotten so much better. So much better. And it feels like I'm more present in conversation because I ain't gonna lie. My cousin, he pointed this out to me when I was like 18 or 17, is that we'd be having a full conversation. He's looking dead at me. I'm looking at a wall. And I'm just like, yep, you're right. I'm like, but what about this and all this? And even if I was making some good points, the simple fact that I can't look you in the eyes makes it seem as though I'm unconfident about what I'm talking about, or I'm just an unconfident person, and therefore it adds less weight to my words. People wouldn't respect you more if they can witness and see that you can't even look them in the eye. And I ain't gonna lie, that's something I had to really work my way on. And even before semen retention, because I want you guys to know, semen retention is more so just an add-on and even sometimes a placebo. The biggest thing to do is work your way. Don't expect these results just because you're not busting no nuts. That don't make a whole lot of sense. Don't expect to have a fuller voice, to feel stronger, to feel more comfortable, to be less anxious. All of these things to just simply happen because you're not busting nuts. Like, I can say that this has helped, maybe even a lot, but I can never say that this is the only thing I did. Like, oh my God, I ain't busted a nut in 90 days. Now I'm levitating and talking with no hesitation. Like, it's a few things that I had to do by simply just stepping out and trying to look people in the eye, stepping out and trying to talk more confidently. Even if I sound stupid and I'm talking louder than I should, just being less quiet than I was. Hitting the gym, getting stronger, hitting the fight gym, learning how to defend myself. And on top of that, semen retention just aided greatly. It made me more driven, I guess. Like, I ain't gonna lie, the most fun thing I do in a day is make music in YouTube. And I'm in not YouTube, but looking at YouTube videos. And I'm trying to cut that out because it takes up a lot of my time and I don't like that. I don't like that when I check my screen time, there's like 5 hours on YouTube and like an hour, less than an hour of screen time on my Bible. And whatever result that you would like to get, I promise you, it gets much easier when you correlate a new lifestyle to it. Not just sitting at your desk like, I'm not going to beat my nuts anymore. I'm not going to beat my meat anymore. But I'm going to have the same routine that would follow me beating my meat. I'm going to scroll on the same IG with the same people I follow. I'm going to have the same habits. Wake up in the morning, scroll on my phone. You just doing the same exact stuff. And the only thing that's different is that you trying to constrain yourself instead of putting it towards something else. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the easiest thing, semen retention became so much easier once I actually started focusing on something that gave me merit and value. For me, that was God and Christianity. I ain't gonna lie. Before I was doing semen retention, I would have these impulses and it would seem like something's whispering to me in a way. Like I'm trying to cope and tell myself like, oh, this is just a day, I can restart tomorrow. Like I've already relapsed. Why not bust 12 times today? Who cares? Like a whole lot of reasons to just not only just indulge in this, but indulge in other things. Because for me, thankfully, I've never had a serious issues with other things like drugs and the like. But I struggle with like gluttonous eating way more than I should. I struggle with masturbation, all that. I struggle with lying, being a dishonest person. And once I simply just changed my focus to something more divine or something that has a purpose bigger than me, it became like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders, and it was 10 times easier to do. Because once my strength and belief in Jesus got stronger, it's like, how can I bust these nuts when God's watching? How can I